Hey everybody, this is the House of Shade Community Spotlight, and today's episode is co-hosted by Red-Eyed Bear and CryptoChem. We're joined by Oscar Jepsis, CEO and co-founder of Alter. Alter is a decentralized, privacy-preserving, blockchain-based communications platform that leverages advanced cryptographic models to securely transfer messages that are encrypted together with secret network secret smart contracts. In today's episode, we get to learn about Alter and what they aim to accomplish with their proprietary application. We discuss the new chat feature and upcoming enhancements, dive into the Alter token value accrual, and finally discuss how Silk could be integrated into the Alter model. Now let's jump right in and join Red-Eyed Bear and CryptoChem for our Community Spotlight series featuring Oscar Jepsis of Alter.
All right, and we're live. Thank you, Mr. Freeman, for joining us today, coming to talk to us about Alter and the developments you guys have going on there. I'm super excited to talk to you. I know you guys just released roadmap not too long ago, and some other stuff, some milestones you're already hitting on your roadmap. So this is a really cool episode, not only for us, but I think for the community to get some further clarification and just some more detailed descriptions of what's going on behind the scenes at Alter. So before we get into the content, I want to give you a chance to give a little background on yourself, maybe some professional or educational background that helped shape your skill set that is allowing you to do what you're doing at Alter.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm super happy to be on Shade podcast as well. And definitely I'm super happy to share any information about Alter and myself and why we started it. From my personal side, I think persistent learning and also risking a lot is the way to go, to create the innovation and also trying to achieve greater things and definitely bring to the market a real solution because there's so huge problems in regards of communication, especially when it comes to privacy. And definitely we don't see that a lot of applications that are being utilized doesn't have that encryption, and it doesn't give the users their encryption keys. So basically it is not trustable, and people shouldn't use such kind of products because if the product is free, definitely there's something behind it, and you can realize what is behind it.
I actually just realized this in talking with some developers recently. Just for people that are making free websites or for utilizing free services, a lot of the way they're making that free is by selling your data or just being really heavy on the advertisements. And so, having that privacy preservation and with your communications platform.
There's always a trade-off. If it's free, there's typically something that you're giving up in the back end to make it worth the time of whoever's providing the service or product to give it to you for free. So like you said, there's always something you're giving up.
Yeah, that's right. And also the thing is that Gmail, for instance, they give you, of course, the free account. But the thing is they utilize your account and your data to bring more targeted ads for the companies to kind of sell off their products and services. But the thing is they're utilizing around $3,000 per year. And that's ridiculous amount, actually, how you're being used as a product or entry point. Because when we look upon also Google search is the same story. Their business model started off hey, we are a good service provider, a good search engine, but then they kicked up with the revenue for investors and everything else. They need to find ways. And the ways, of course, is to track and trace what you search, also put up in the first listing pages all the paid ads, paid products and also services. So yeah, 90%, I guess, the revenue for Google search also is around marketing and, of course, the ads to present you. And, of course, to offer deep tech analysis companies to kind of get more insight about the societies, about you, about what you want, what you don't want. And that is easy information to have in order to manipulate in other different ways. And of course, at the end we are the product and we are being impacted by it every single day.
And so I imagine a lot of those things you just described kind of helped give you that, or help drive that fire inside to create Alter, to be able to get rid of all of these things that are, or to allow users the ability to escape this this seemingly never-ending like goal of finding as much data and trying to monetize it as much as possible for your normal Web 2 companies like Google.
Yeah, I would say that would be the start, because I was actually trying to search for application that is like secure private, and I didn't end up with one. For Telegram, we needed to get mobile phone attached, and also we don't own the encryption keys, we don't see them. Second is also the same for Signal. It is exactly the same. And when we go to WhatsApp, well, there's no question about it. It's a pure Facebook product, and of course, we know how Zuckerberg is pointing out about their privacy, even though in real life he's buying like 5 mansions around him to get his own real life privacy. So it's kind of yeah, it's ridiculous, and people doesn't see it. And also these like marketing activities around like Telegram, hey, this is the most secure and private place to chat, and everything else actually just honeypot, because I think last year they raised 1 billion for Telegram, and to be honest, like it's scarcity, because also the investors, we don't know anything about them, what are they doing. And of course, people say that open source projects are the best ones. I tend to agree, but you don't need to kind of confirm that it is best way. Actually, if you don't have a relative audit for that and opinion, you'll never know actually what is actually on the server live, because you'll never have that 100% trust. So you need to go with different kind of other ways for your users to build this 100% trust. And on the other side, the added value is definitely the encryption keys that you are owning, and you can regenerate them. And also in later stage, people will be able to generate from the library by themselves on their own computer and just provide their keys. So and that's why like open source or outed at the end of the day doesn't work anymore. Like you need to be smart and look on these projects with the
Yes.
criticism, and be skeptical, because like open source doesn't mean that it is good, like, or private or secure. Like it doesn't mean anything, because you cannot do the audit by yourself, and plus you don't have the access like to go to their actual product live setup of the in the servers, like how it's actually running. Maybe perhaps they have removed some part of the code that is actually decrypting all the information, or they're kind of seizing the information. You don't know, like.
Well, and that's the interesting part, right? Like they can advertise like, "Hey, we're these privacy communication applications," when really it's private to, I guess, the greater public, but they can see it. They could technically still have their databases, breached and leaked. So, although they claim that your data is private, it's private because they're maintaining that privacy. But at any point, if these companies mess up or anything happens, your data is no longer private, and you had no say in that. And so that's
Yeah.
kind of what you're saying too. And what I think is interesting about Alter is, like you said, you generate your own key, and eventually it's going to be directly from your own computer, which means literally the only person who would ever even know that is you. You'd be the only person who knows your private key. Literally, you, Alter, nobody could do anything. They couldn't delete your messages. They couldn't view your messages. And that to me is what makes Alter just a step above everything else I've seen. I kind of just to quickly talk about that, because I think that concept is really cool, like how you can create your own private key and how that allows individual access that no one else can have.
Yeah, and also like kind of to simplify the user interface and user experience, to kind of connect cryptography and plus connect the smart contracts in a way that users can easily onboard and use the product seamlessly. And that's also like always the challenge, like how we want to make the product for user friendly, and also get as much as feedback as we can to kind of improve it along the way. And that is, I think, every single project's like most biggest challenge. And I would say that also Shay, like, in order to create such a DeFi tool, I mean, you need to really think about how users are going to be interacting with it. So if it's seamless and really good experience, I would just go take and give kudos to Osmosis on, like, so far, like I have no like questions, comments about their user experience, because it's so seamless and nice, and I really love the way that it is so simple, and you don't need to go with this super hard setups and different other options to confirm like so many transactions. Suddenly, like at the end, like for users, it's not good. And the same like for Alter. I mean, once we're gonna upgrade our middleware, we're gonna have also the capable logins. Um, and definitely also to have storing the private and public key onto the smart contract secret network. So it's super easy to log in, and you don't need to have your private key always with you. So we will be generating a smart contract that is connected to your Kepa wallet, and you have only the authorization, and you're basically owning the smart contract of secret network. At the moment, like the messages, they are being wrapped up with second network smart contract that are pushed into the blockchain. Why the messages are actually seamless? Because we are putting the one part, like the message text itself, of the chain, and that's why you have this encryption key with you uh, to deliver the 100% privacy for yourself, and also for us to be non-custodial. So we don't need to know about our clients. We don't want to know also what you text or share. And then the second part is pushing the hash data and metadata into the smart contract from Second Network and pushing it towards there for verification. So that part takes some time, but at the same time, like you still can send a message and it's instant. But of course, that verification will take a bit longer time to just pop up. Like if you have used Alter, then you're gonna see that confirmation check mark with 3 sub statuses, that it is being prepared and it's being pushed and it's being stored, and you can see all the information. And also you can check it on the BTN group tool if that was a successful one. So people can also kind of verify that it's not just a logo, and random numbers. Actually, it's already there, so you can just verify that we are using smart contracts as well.
And I just want to highlight something you said there that I find really important is when we're talking about DeFi and actually having to submit transactions, to really optimize that UI UX, you're going to want to try and limit those transactions to as few as possible. If you have to submit 4 or 5 different transactions to do one like big task that you really want to do, that's not going to sit as well with normal users. And so kind of going away from DeFi and looking at what Alter is doing, you guys are trying to make that user interface and that experience for users as seamless as possible. The fact that, personally to me, and I think a lot of other people share this sentiment, is that decentralized applications won't be able to reach the sort of mass adoption scale and the sort of user engagement that maybe the maximalists think it will be, unless we get to a point where these applications are like their UI is so seamless, the user doesn't know they're using a blockchain technology. And I think what Alter is doing is a phenomenal example of that, and probably one of the better examples within Secret Network right now. I feel like this product could be used by anyone. It doesn't have to be within Secret Network, within the Cosmos ecosystem. I could go to any of my friends and get them to use this, and probably none of them would know it's running on blockchain unless I told them.
100%.
Yeah, that's definitely the end goal. And I think once we're gonna pivot with the upgrading the middleware, we're gonna be trying to understand how we can more put on the smart contract side. because we really want to go fully like on that perspective, because also like hosting everything else and using like different other solutions from Cosmos, like Akash network, like that's also some super dope network, and the solution itself, like it's gonna explode this year. I highly recommend like to support them and use their product as early as possible. And we are waiting for their uh, we are waiting for their upgrade for the product itself as well. And of course, once Alter is also upgrading, that is super connected to the roadmap. So yeah.
Well, that's actually a great transition. I want to talk about the roadmap with you because obviously we all know a couple days ago you did launch the new chat feature, which we kind of were just talking about there. And it was so far, I've thought it's been an awesome application. Like we were just talking about before the show, it's really cool to see someone come out with a brand new product and have it be functioning almost seamlessly from the start. So I know you guys have a lot of enhancements and stuff in mind, but just from the MVP, that minimal viable product, it was quite the experience, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. But with that said, kind of what is your biggest value prop, I guess, to teams using Alter? Like what can you provide to people using it that maybe some of these other apps can't?
I think the first like biggest thing is the privacy aspect, because I think we're the only one that is giving up all the keys to the user, so users can be feeling safe and also to manage their encryption keys and completely own it. Enabling such way really gives the trustability to the product and the platform without any like kind of extra work or due diligence. And another thing, of course, is the seamless user experience. And of course, adding to that user experience are the utilities. The utilities, what we have brought up is peer-to-peer messaging. The first idea was to kind of replicate the email idea, because I think no one have challenged the email for like last 30 years. It's so old and people are so attached to it that I don't think that we need to use any more emails. I think it's the breaking point, and Web3 is the breaking point for projects, for users to start actually utilizing some other different alternatives than email for either registration, for newsletters, or sensitive file data sending. And like there's so many things that is connected to emails now that and as well, like if you send a new message to a email user, it might end up in a spam, or it will never be delivered because of the filters. They just block the messages. And Alter, it's completely different. Like it will be always delivered there. And of course, having the chats and chatting group features for communities that we have recently launched. And what we want to kind of bring more is this, the added value is replicating the things that you have used to be like reusing every single day, but with a more thoughtful user interface. So it's not so spammy like Discord and Telegram. Also, it's not so huge with so many things at the one dashboard. So yeah, we want to kind of have that simplicity always, the slick look, and but at the same time we have a lot of like utility and features on it. So
Yeah, which I like too is like you're basically taking concepts that exist today and you're improving not only the user experience, but also just you're protecting the user's data better, which I think is something that people don't quite value enough yet, and that's something I think they're starting to come to terms with, is how valuable your personal data is. And as more people start to come to terms with that, I think they'll see the value in getting applications like Alter where you can actually secure your data a lot better and be confident. And additionally, if you are sending messages, you will always be able to verify if those received, or at least if they're able to view it. With regular email, like you said, you could send out something and it gets filtered, and you never hear about it. It wasn't a return to sender; it just didn't actually make it to the end user, and that can be a big issue for a lot of people. Missed opportunities, or maybe some very urgent messages you have to get to someone. So I appreciate that you can actually go on the blockchain and verify, hey, this was delivered. I know they received it. Now maybe they don't respond or what have you, but you can at least verify. So I do like that.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
oh, sorry about that, but I just wanted to quickly kind of ask about the app. So I've used the desktop version, love it. When can we expect something that can be on mobile, where you could just pop open
Yeah.
your phone and start texting your friends, or I guess messaging your friends and kind of getting in touch with them?
Yeah, we have released a roadmap, and it is available on our blog post, and also it's pinned on our Twitter profile. So if you want to learn more, go there. But we have planned in Q2 the Android application. We have already pushed the application to the Google Play Store to review, and then we have also iOS native application in development. And hopefully by end of Q2 we're going to deliver that native one. But before that, we're actually going to push non-native one application as well. Hopefully by end of April, we're also going to see in Apple Store Alter application there, and as well on the Google Play Store Alter. So I think it's pretty huge, because it will unlock people to use it more, and also adding those notifications, like kind of already replicating like what you need for daily use from different other products. So, and yeah, we want to also deliver the desktop version of the product later on in Q3, so you can also install it on your computer. So it's kind of like Telegram or Discord. They have the both versions, and I think it's really awesome to have both of them as well. But yeah, we are super stoked about having the mobile application, and also be the first project from Secret Network to have that mobile application available on those two stores, and it will be super nice for Secret Network and also for Alter.
I think I'm in 100% agreement with you. As soon as the mobile version for Alter is out, I'll be officially ready to ditch Telegram and Discord, and I've already been ready to ditch my email for over a year. So I was saying this to someone earlier today, but like I'm ready to start refusing to give people my email and just tell them to use my Alter ID. Just message me there.
Yeah. We're gonna also add, of course, like we have planned also to integrate one solution into Alter for video calls and calls, so people can utilize also this extra feature like Google Meets that are people using, or Zooms. I hate them both, and I don't want to use them, but of course majority uses. So we're gonna have also that part inside Alter. And one great good feature that we'll take is from Slack. They have this huddle feature that you can basically just click in, and you can initiate a call with someone, and then you can invite to the call as well. We're gonna definitely have those at the chats added as well, and I think it's really nice to have instant call instead of like chatting as well always.
So I've got a quick question for you, real quick, regarding the video calls that just piqued my interest there. So obviously, we want this service to be available to normal users, but you also want enterprise level groups to be able to utilize this as well. And I think if we're really trying to think long term, we would want to, you would want to onboard, companies that have tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of employees. So I'm curious how Alter is going to be able to handle that throughput of messaging. So let's say you have a company that has 10,000 people globally that is using that service 24/7. Do you see the latency with some of the messages being sent and received? Do you see that being impacted, or do you see the quality of the service? Let's say video calls. If you've got 1,000, 10,000 people using that at the same time, is that going to be really burdensome on Secret Network or on what Alter is doing?
I don't think so, but of course, any additional user is bringing additional computation power to the Secret Network. Like that's for sure. Like anything that is connected to more users, more interaction with a small contract, definitely it's increased computation. So I would say that there might be foreseeable notice on Second Network if we onboard like 100,000 users perhaps or something like that. But for such low numbers, we don't see any like bad impact on the product or usability. And definitely we want to scale as much as we can during the non-popular stage that we are currently are, that we can like set up the architecture in a way that we are so ready to onboard like 100,000 users, and we have tested it and everything else. So it takes time, of course, to create that architecture, and as well, of course, upgrading the middleware and seeing like how we can utilize the gas more efficiently. Like that's the most biggest challenge for ourselves in the future. But since we are also validating on Second Network, and also we have delegators, and once we're going to launch also stake and access Alter platform for free with our validator, then we're going to have enough like running power as well for future adoption.
Nice. Yeah, my main reason for bringing it up is just because I pitched Alter to basically everyone that I talk to that is interested in either telecommunications or just is higher up in maybe some in businesses where they could really utilize this for trying to protect intellectual property or just maintaining general privacy for all of their employees. And one of the people I've talked to recently about Alter, they work in a company that has over 100,000 people, and they actually, you mentioned Zoom earlier. They actually switched from Zoom because one, there were some privacy related problems there, but also they were just having a lot of trouble getting that throughput and consistency of quality with everyone using it at the same time. And so they ended up going and creating their own, or they bought a company and just outfitted it to be able to do exactly what they needed to do. So that was where my general thought process came from asking this.
Yeah, I mean, I think companies will. I think they're already looking for alternatives, because I mean, also to maintain the prices that like G Suite or Microsoft Teams are offering for the paid plans, it's crazy for company to maintain. Like if you have like 10,000 people in the team, the costs are huge. Yeah. On the other hand, on Alter, like you'll have everything that you need for super low fee, especially when you like kind of ask a quote for like 10,000 users. Of course, we're gonna give a discount and be happy about it. So, yeah. I mean, and also like there's so many other options that people can will interact Alter that we have planned. So I think subscriptions will not be the only way. And of course, like lawyers, advisors, and also compliance people there, and also auditors, including. They're dealing with sensitive data a lot, and also with audit reports, like if you send over email or you just send and share it on Slack, which is not encrypted platform, it is such a huge vulnerability for the company itself, because I mean sharing audit report on Slack is nonsense. I mean, I don't know. The same for lawyers. Like you need to carry out due diligence about them before you start a collaboration. And if there's a serious deal and some of the deal can be leaked or accessed or by mistakes sent to someone else, I mean, you're totally fucked. To not to spread a lot, but yeah, you are, and there's no way back. And definitely, that is something that we are offering, and there's this huge problem, and Alter wants to solve it.
And have you, and this is just kind of me generally asking because it did kind of pique my interest as well, have you considered doing like almost like a white label service for some of these where they would almost integrate Alter directly into their own platform?
Yeah, once we're gonna have the public API released in Q2, any project, any company, anyone can integrate Alter and use for their user interface or directly replicate the same, and that's all. I mean, as long as you have the access, and we want to kind of utilize as much as we can, and perhaps we might even somehow figure out how we can connect different other applications, but with, of course, privacy notice that your messages might be compromised, like just to onboard people. And as I can see, then what is also my second big challenge is kind of get with the API to resolve that you don't need any more email to register at the platform. You can just put Alter ID and that's all. Once we're going to be at that stage, it will be so awesome that like for registering, for example, I know like on Binance, there's email and also Alter ID options. So I think that's the next step that people need to recognize that you don't need emails. You can use alternatives because no one have entered that market to offer such solution. And grasping that approach as well for registration process is also awesome. The same with like newsletters that we're going to be also bringing into Alter and kind of giving monetization for readers as well. So
Awesome.
That's an awesome opportunity right there. Like,
yeah.
So, and then I was just going to quickly ask you about the Alter token, because I did notice that you mentioned you're going to be able to stake the token to get access to Alter. One, I think that's an awesome idea because it allows users to try it without necessarily having to put up actual, capital and give it over, and they can actually get it back, I assume, at the end if the experience isn't what they expected. But overall, what I like about the Alter token is it was originally a governance token. But what we're seeing now is that there's additional utility being added to give it real value outside of just that governance. And that's what I think is really unique about the Alter token, outside of just the product, but actually the fact that your token is very important to the platform, either by staking or by some of these other ways of creating value from it, like the revenue share. If you want to kind of just briefly talk about that and how you guys decided to integrate in that model and how it kind of incentivizes people to want to hold Alter.
Yeah, I think the first one is that Alter is non-inflationary token. As you know, all the Cosmos tokens are inflationary and Alter is not. Second is that we want to integrate Alter to the product, like to use it as a product token more. So we can add also a special discount if you use Alter token for getting the subscription. And second, once we're going to have more utilities and premium features, those will be only unlockable with Alter token. And as well, like additional storage, also will be only offered with Alter token. So basically, we're kind of forcing to users to use the product token to unlock like cool features and premium features, and as well the storage. And second thing is, of course, the revenue sharing model that we want to integrate is that people who are like members of the referral program or affiliate program or providing liquidity to the token or is staking, they can be part of getting additional income from kind of like owning something, of course, a lot of details to be resolved around compliance, legal stuff, and perhaps it will be different setup or name or what. But yeah, we are kind of exploring all the ideas how we can launch it in Q2 in order to have the users possibility to have that. And of course, once we're gonna deliver a lot like features, definitely Alter price is like expecting to rise, because all the utility and all the features, like it can justify why the Alter token is needed there.
So I just want to highlight something you said just recently. So with Alter being a non-inflationary token, whenever you're providing these revenue share rewards, obviously there's going to be a limit on how much Alter you can provide as a reward for revenue share model. And in reading one of the previous articles that you guys published, you talked about a partnership with Shade to provide Silk as part of your revenue share model. Would you be able to provide any clarity there, and maybe a little bit of detail about that partnership, and then why using something like Silk helps make your revenue share model more sustainable, like into the future?
Yeah, thanks. Great question. I think I already started to research a lot, like last year in tokenomics and also projects, how people are utilizing the projects, their tokens. And I had this crazy about the idea that you need to kind of actually share with your users, share with your liquidity providers, all these good things But at the same time, you need to also establish partnerships along the way. And we saw that Shade with the Silk stablecoin is one of the parts that we can actually deliver to the user some extra added value there. So 30% of everything from the revenue share model will be transformed into the Silk, driving the Silk demand, of course, and swapping through other tokens that we have gathered from subscriptions or from validating. So basically, we're kind of driving the force to the Silk as well. But second is also for Alter token that having like different other tokens, we're gonna be swapping them to the Alter token, and then we're gonna distribute it. So what does it mean? The demand for Alter will be always constant up and high. And imagine when there's like 50,000 users and everything is spinning up more and more and more, the price of Alter will keep rising because the more the traction, the bigger the revenue, the bigger demand for Alter token, because we are kind of like the Quan, he's using the Luna to get the together with UST to get the Bitcoin. And I mean, it's almost similar but more easier way to understand, and we're actually utilizing directly other tokens, kind of swap for Alter and swap for Silk. So at the end goal is we have two tokens that are being distributed to the revenue reward model to the people, to the users. Yeah.
And as you mentioned, it's deflation, or I guess it's non-inflationary, meaning as more users use it. Here, we can wait. We can just cut this part out. Then I'll just restart it. But so with the, I kind of lost my train of thought there though. I was gonna say, what were we just talking about? Because we can cut this out. I got distracted. What were we just talking about? For real?
It's my dogs barking in the background.
Revenue sharing reward model. So and Silk and Alter.
Oh yeah. Okay. I know where I'm at. So, like you were saying, with the Alter token, it's non-inflationary, right? So as more users start to use the product, more revenues being driven, you're converting more tokens into Alter. That's like you said, it should drive the value of Alter up because there is no emissions that are diluting the value of Alter. Yeah. So like as it's being utilized more and more, it's really just accruing value, and it's similar, not exactly similar to Luna because it's not like a burn model, but the idea that the more that comes through this, the more demand there is for Alter, it should put a lot of pressure on the price to rise because it doesn't have this dilution effect.
Yeah, and I would also say I think what Alter is doing in approaching how to make their incentives sustainable is very similar to what Shade is doing. Obviously, you don't want to have inflation into perpetuity just to be able to incentivize participation and support of the end product. And so figuring out ways to make incentivizing users and supporters sustainable, that's so important, especially early on. Like if you can figure this out early on in the project and continue that throughout the life cycle, then I think not only are you going to see more stable appreciation in the token price, but a higher correlation of the token price and the actual value that the product is bringing over time.
I think what our goal actually with the Alter token is kind of present that these kind of projects can definitely sustain a nice, great model of without any investors. So of course we have raised money, but in the long run, like if you want to rapidly scale the communication platform, you need to raise money more, and you need to expand your teams, and because the market will gonna demand from you, and if you cannot deliver that power for demand, then yeah, I mean you're just losing users every single day, and you're using new adoptions. So, and having this non-inflationary and also kind of driving up the Alter price up with demand of the revenue that we're getting from other tokens that are then swapped to the Alter is really awesome. And I think everyone who is holding at the moment, like if they see the big picture, they're gonna understand like why it's important to hold Alter now and get this ridiculous low price.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Just to kind of touch on something you mentioned, you guys have a pretty sizable team at Alter, right?
Yeah, correct.
I would say you guys probably have one of the bigger teams of developers within the secret network right now. Just like people fully committed to the project.
I think around 15 people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear about the process you've seen of onboarding developers. I know in our chat before this episode, we talked about, the some of the difficulties with onboarding Web 2 developers into the Web 3 space. And some of that is being able to take that leap of faith into developing something slightly more risky, something that isn't as established as some of the Web 2 products that are out there. But I'm curious as to some of the things that you've seen as like barriers to entry for developers in this space. And how you guys have gone about trying to solve that.
I will start with Alter, and then I'm gonna explain like majority. With Alter, the good part is that our CTO, he have worked with so many good developers before that he kind of already have verified them. So we just offered a full-time job at our place, and then they just quitted their jobs at the Web2 companies. That's all. Like, because personally, they know Alex, our CTO, and he can trust those employees because they are super grinders, and also they are also interested in the project because it's really awesome. And in regards of the smart contract part, like we have also I think greatest minds for that, and also shout out to Gabriel. He's fucking awesome. There's no there's no question about him. Like he's pro, and I love to work with him as well. And getting onboarded people, I think you need to put the trust into them, and before you put the trust, you can verify if they're like motivated, if they're motivated to go an extra mile and also like push barriers and also give feedback and suggestions. That's like the inside hunch that you kind of say to yourself, okay, this guy we need, yeah, definitely, for sure. And then you put the trust in, you support him, and then basically he will just do miracles, I would say. And if we want to kind of onboard new people to, like, in general, to this smart contract side to develop, I think networks needs to first of all plan accordingly everything that they do with developers, so it's easy to onboard, easy to explain, but at the same time rewarding, because they have their daily jobs. They don't want to quit because they have already high salaries. They might have a gig or two outside of that work, and like they are not super interested into it. But if you like kind of bring a super nice and seamless way of like applying grants and processing them and giving like huge opportunities, that will unlock a lot. And at the same time, organizing hackathons is also a nice way how we can explain more about smart contracts. And I think hackathons can be the first point of contact with non-crypto people who are like with developer skills, because they need to see the small steps, like super simple things. And if we can just give them out like a hackathon for a week or what, to guide every single group with experts and kind of learn for them and show like how to kickstart with smart contracts, that is a huge addition. And definitely the networks needs to collaborate with huge organizations that are already using hackathons for non-crypto, and they also need to onboard people from universities that are almost starting to graduate, the final year. And those are the like touch points, because having youth to start with small contracts is more like interesting for them as well, and also giving that opportunity to at the same time get like a lot of rewards for that. I mean,
Yeah, the incentivization is super
yeah.
key.
The more I hear about hackathons, the more I'm realizing how crucial of an event they are. Like personally, when I first heard about them, I thought it was more to just try and break this code. If you can figure out how to break it, we'll compensate you adequately. But this is also just it's a massive networking event. Like, in just talking with the core team of Shade, I think there's a few individuals that were onboarded to the core team just from interactions and meetings at hackathons. So I would love to see you guys continue to have a presence at hackathons or even host your own.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys have planned in regards to that, but I'm excited to see what you guys are participating in the future.
Yeah, we are actually gonna participate in one, and definitely we are gonna dedicate from the token part. We have already planned that a grants for new developers to kind of support any small feature people want to kind of develop for Alter in the future. Because I mean, the sky's the limit for Alter. Imagine that any developer who is kind of having opportunity to add more things to like Discord or Slack or Gmail. Imagine like the possibilities, because for G Suite, like you cannot go there and ask like, hey, I want to develop this. Can you please then confirm it and also give money for that? So it's not possible. For us, everything is possible.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say I appreciate what you guys are doing by also reaching out to other people in the network and establishing partnerships. One thing I really think a lot of teams need to do is realize what can we provide that we're really good at to other people, and what can other projects provide to us that could help us create synergies. I like that you've made it very clear that is your goal. I see you all the time on Twitter, different mediums, reaching out to these other founders, reaching out to these leaders in the space, trying to figure out a way. Hey, how do we work together? And I really genuinely appreciate you doing that, because I want to see the whole ecosystem grow. I'm obviously a huge fan of Alter, but I want to see Alter grow. I want to see all these other platforms grow, kind of together, and then we can kind of support each other throughout the ecosystem. And then ideally, if privacy becomes that main layer you need in blockchain, which I think eventually it has to, right? Like your data needs to be protected. You'll be right there at the top with the rest of the guys, and I can't wait to watch it happen. But yeah, so
yeah, I've heard a lot of talented developers say a lot of phenomenal things about Alter and the team there. So obviously you guys are doing something good. I have no developer background experience, so I can only appreciate what I understand on the surface layer and what you're willing to help explain to us. But other people outside of the community, maybe a part of general core teams of different projects, they obviously recognize what you guys are doing. And I think in a lot of ways, you guys are helping set some of the standards for collaboration within ecosystems, like what positive and successful collaboration should look like. Everyone wants to make money, but we also want to be able to just help people better themselves. And I think what Alter is doing is a really easy way to help better an everyday life task, communicating, being able to share documents. So I think in a lot of ways, and in my mind especially, I think what you guys are doing is really important in this space. Not only the service you're providing, but the sort of ethos and standards you're setting for other development teams and other DApps within Secret Network. I'm super excited to see you guys continue to crush milestones throughout the year. I think you guys have already crossed off a few since you released your roadmap. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you so much, both of you. And also, I think the Q2 for Alter will be massive and with huge explosions, because I mean, all the hard work that we have accumulated before, like for months, now we're gonna be bringing, showing, and executing, because we have done a lot of work on our side before we kind of market anything. So and I'll definitely gonna keep on collaborating as much as I can with any single project that is out there, or any single company or community. That's our goal, is to bring projects together and also utilize the so-called IBC gang values, is that we can be peer-to-peer and we can be sufficient enough by our own community that is from the Cosmos ecosystem. And that is really awesome. And I think Cosmos is definitely going to be the standard one for for blockchain developers to come in and do their stuff.
Yeah, and I just want to say one more time, again, awesome that you guys are executing on the roadmap. You're being very kind of clear with what you want, and then you're executing on it. Love to see that, and so shout out to you for that, but also shout out to your team, because obviously you're the face. Everyone knows Mr. Freeman, they know Oscar, but you got a ton of good devs like we were talking about. You got a good team behind you, and it's really cool to see everyone kind of working together to push out such a great product. So shout out to the team as well, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out to Shade, Jackals. I know that Jackals, they're awesome, and we really want to integrate Jackals and be the first application that is kind of utilizing their service as well. And of course, we are waiting for any other project who is building at the moment to reach out to Alter, and yeah, hit me up on Discord or Telegram or Twitter. I'm available always.
Nice. Well, thank you, Oscar, for joining us today to talk about Alter and talk about your roadmap and all the crazy developments going on behind the scenes. This has been a phenomenal conversation. Really enjoyed getting to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I enjoyed it as well, and talk to you soon.
Yeah, we'll include all the social links to get any information about Alter, and we'll also include links to House of Shade for coverage of this and any other stuff that we're working on that's going to be coming out in the next few weeks. So thank you guys for listening, and till next time, see ya.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. And thanks to Oscar Jepsis of Alter for joining us in the House of Shade for our Community Spotlight series. Make sure to follow Alter on Twitter at AlterDApp, and check out their website at altermail.live. You can also find more information on Alter in their Discord and Telegram channels, which will be posted in the video description. Please help support the House of Shade and our mission by liking the video and hitting that subscribe button. Thanks, and see you all next time.